Ben Jensen or Johnson. I've never been to this event, so appreciate Braden getting me out here. We got kind of lazy. My brother and I have our own wholesale business and flip houses, got rental properties. We do our own Meetup in Dallas. It's a different day. We're not structured like this, so this is cool. We do probably 90% pre-foreclosures. Kind of break down our process. I started from DoortoDoor Sales. I think I met some other solar people up here, but started selling security systems in college. That's what got me into real estate. Ended up doing solar. Didn't love the solar industry. Kills a lot of our deals now. The DoortoDoor Sales experience is what got me into real estate, knocking on pre-foreclosures. That was my first 5 deals, was knocking pre-foreclosures, and now we do, Facebook ads, SMS, cold call, and our biggest deals still come from door knocking. But I think a lot of people that we run into and JV with don't necessarily understand the pre-foreclosure process. They either hate it or love it. We've almost entirely focused on it because we ran the numbers from 2025. We closed just over 50 deals. I think it's 52 deals in 2025. And our average deal of a pre-foreclosure was just over 30,000. Any other deal was an average of 21. Crazy sellers most of the time, not all the time. So solving bigger problems, but we're almost never negotiating on price. The biggest problem is they don't really want to sell their house. So it's a lot of sales process coming from a sales environment. I think that's why we execute a lot of them well, but if you don't know how to talk to someone in pre-foreclosure, you're gonna be drive yourself crazy because they don't want to sell their house and they stick their head in the sand, and it's a lot of follow-up. So I'll give you a quick 5-piece, I just came up with this before I walked in here, but little 5 steps that we go through to actually master the pre-foreclosure process. The first thing is the speed to lead. So it would be the data you're getting, right? So does anyone in here target pre-foreclosures? Okay, so some people, it's really hard to see. Yeah, the speed to lead. If you're getting data, we have some people that were trying to network and JV with us, and they were getting leads from things like PropStream, Deal Machine. We use that for a lot of different niche lists and getting phone numbers. But if you're getting pre-foreclosure data from bulk providers like that, and you're not going straight to the county website of some sort, you're kind of burning through the money, right? So you want to get first to contact and build that trust. So the first thing, speed to lead. This kind of spells out Stoke, but it's going to be with a C. So T is trust. We go through the whole process with them, not as a cash buyer, right? They know that we can buy houses. I hate when people are talking to someone in pre-foreclosure and they just have no idea that you can buy a house, right? You realize when you talk to someone, you want to walk them through their options to stop a foreclosure because 90% of them don't want to sell their house. But if you go at it with, hey, I'm just trying to get you a cash offer, they're going to slam the door in your face, shut the phone, whatever it is, and you're not going to get any trust with them. So building trust and making them realize that you can walk them through that process of what it's going to look like. And then if you can't qualify to keep the home, okay, here's what we're gonna have to do to sell it. Them knowing that from the beginning and showing them what they're gonna do to be able to keep it and earn that trust with them, telling them what's in it for you. And at the end of the day, if you can't qualify to keep it, we'd love to help people if that makes sense, but if not, you might need to sell it before it's too late, and we have a handful of options on how we can do that. So there's a ton of creative ways that I think people miss out on deals that my first year, I wish I would have known on different exit strategies that are just turn a no deal into a $50,000 profit. So I'll break down a couple of those that we're working on right now. So first one, speed to lead. Trust. O would be operations. So follow-up and sales process. The first point of contact is huge, but if you're not following up with that person, 90% of them will stick their head in the sand until literally Texas Tuesday. We'll contract a lot of deals that's first 3 days and the last 2 weeks right before the auction. And a lot of them are that last 6-7 days before the auction, sometimes even 2 days. Having a strong follow-up process, CRM, like you guys, Dispo people talked about, being able to hit them every single week and know where everyone's at in the stage. Okay, this is someone that said they're doing a loan mod. This is someone that's said they're filing for bankruptcy. This person said they got it figured out. We know and follow up based on every single stage. So having a CRM for that is huge. STO, so we got through. The last thing would be close, right? So actually being able to close a deal. I think a lot of times I see guys that the same thing, are hey, I'm here to help you, which is great. And I'm gonna walk you through your options to keep it. And so many people, anyone can reach out to foreclosures. It's a low barrier to entry, but if you're only there to try and walk them through their options, at the end of the day, you have to be able to close a deal. And a lot of times you're not helping them if you're not getting under contract. And a lot of people don't realize that. There's a difference between being unethical and letting someone get foreclosed on a Tuesday. Switching that hat and having a difficult conversation with someone when they think you don't want to help them, being able to level with a homeowner. I had someone I talked to today that talked to 12 different people and they don't want to talk about selling their house. So I walk them through the options to keep it. They say, yeah, we can't do any of that. That's why we're talking to you. We've told everyone they all just want to buy our house. I'm look, level with you like I would with my family or friends. You're going to have to come to a conclusion of having difficult conversation with each other and doing what's best for your family. So like switching that hat and being able to realize, okay, you need to sell the house and close the deal and actually get it under contract with urgency. You're no longer really negotiating on price, you're negotiating on how do you get them into a better situation. So it's, basically making sure you can get them into a new place. Sometimes you're doing a lease back, sometimes you're paying for their Airbnb to get them relocated, but getting it to actually close and contract so that they can actually not get foreclosed on in the Texas or on the first Tuesday of the month if you're doing Texas. So that's the C. We got speed to lead, trust, operations, or follow-up process, and then closing the deal. Last thing is executing. Obviously, contracting is not closing it, right? That's just contracting the deal. Executing that with, you guys talk a lot about the title company. That's huge. I'm gonna have to check you out after this. This is my first time here, so title, everything like that is massive. If you have a deal that you contract 5 days before a foreclosure, you're probably gonna have to do some things to get that foreclosure stopped or closed before it. Reality is you're probably not gonna close a deal in 5 days unless the title is perfect, which is generally not the case. We're doing things like filing a temporary restraining order if they have to. We're sending the contract to the bank, showing them it's gonna be paid off, having them beg. Sometimes they can literally write a good faith letter. So anything that you can do to get it to postpone, but get that contract first, postpone the auction, and being able to execute. And part of executing is exit strategy. So that's what I wanna break down a couple of deals that we did right now that almost were no deals, that ended up being massive deals, just because we pivoted to exit strategy. So being able to execute on that and not just have a deal contract, because sellers are flaky. If you don't have good follow-up, you gotta be talking to these people every day, have a good TC or someone on your team that's keeping these people in the loop, because someone else is knocking on their door tomorrow, 15 other people, probably 100 other people are texting them and calling them. So key little tips that we do, we contract it, we have them save our number, we have them save our TC's number, we literally have them silence unknown callers. This is just a key tip if you go to your phone, unless they're an Android user, silence unknown callers. Tell them a lot of people are gonna knock on their door and that we got you covered and we're opening up title and you don't have to deal with anything anymore. Doing that from A to Z and actually executing it is the reason some of these deals are a lot bigger. We're doing a lot of things like giving them a little lease back, helping them get into a better place, because at the end of the day, if you just contract a deal and you can't stop the foreclosure, you can't help them, you're not doing them any service, right? So there's a ton of opportunity to help them, but also a ton of opportunity on the acquisition side. So